Good morning, I'm Renee Washington, host of the Sports Break. On today's episode, which sport will we talk about? Or will we have a guest in the studio? It's all coming up on the Sports Break right here on RBNTV.tv at 9 a.m. Be sure to stay tuned. Good morning and welcome to today's episode of the Sports Break here on RBNTV. I'm your host, Renee Washington, and joining me on this NBA Thursday is co-host Jonathan Stroud. So we have to jump right into the team right now that is playing pretty impressive, and that's the Boston Celtics. They are now at a 13-game winning streak after starting 0-2. They've gone on to win 13 straight despite the Gordon Hayward injury, and now Kyrie Irving in the mask still playing. I mean, the Celtics are playing like a super team right now.
They're coming out the blocks firing on all cylinders, and it pains me to say this because I'm not the biggest Celtics fan. They're a hated rivalry of Philadelphia, but I mean they're playing well. Kyrie looks like he was right in his assessment of jumping ships from your boy LeBron, and now he's on his own out here in Boston land and really doing his thing. I mean they're the hottest team in the league right now. Gordon Hayward's injury, they really just kind of withstood all the adversity that's been thrown at them. They had some other injuries along the way with Marcus Smart and some guys going down, and they just keep chugging along and keep winning. I think it's going to come to an end tomorrow night when they play Golden State. But, I mean, they've been on fire.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's really going to be tested when they play the Warriors. I mean, that's a team that obviously should beat them. So this 13-game win streak will be on the line. If they do beat them or lose, regardless of what happens, it's still a good season so far.
No, it's super impressive. I mean, it's anytime you can come out the gates firing out with 13-game winning streak, I mean, they're kind of the toast of the NBA right now. Everybody's kind of looking at them, and Kyrie's probably just sitting back smiling, saying, look, I told you guys all along, if I could just get on my own and have my own squad, even though he had that pre-LeBron and it looked terrible, but now he's kind of matured and grown into this superstar caliber player that we see him being. And cats like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who's a rookie, they kind of really just add that extra element for him and really made this team pretty explosive.
Yeah, and they've beaten some pretty good opponents in the Thunder, the Bucks. Mm-hmm. They have been playing, I mean, the Lakers, the Spurs. It's not like they're just beating slump teams. I mean, even the Sixers and the Knicks are playing well right now, too. So every opponent that they have won against, you can't even argue like they got lucky or things are just happen to be falling their way. They're beating top teams.
Oh, absolutely. It's a long NBA season, so anytime you can build up that cushion and kind of separate yourself from the pack, I think that's always a good thing. So, I mean, of course, NBA, like I said, is a long season, so they're probably going to eventually run into some couple 2-game, 3-game losing streaks here and there, but you have this 13-game winning streak to fall back on and know that you really kind of came out the gates hot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and for them, I mean, you talked about Kyrie Irving. Right now, did he make the right decision?
Hey, you're the biggest LeBron fan. You got to tell me. Listen, he left LeBron, and listen, I give him props though. He kind of saw what he wanted to do. He had a vision, and I was kind of one of the guys that was hating on the move and thinking that I don't think it's the best fit for him. Although Boston, I think anywhere else, this Boston team is kind of like the perfect match for him as far as stepping in there. They've already had some surrounding players. They've had a playoff pedigree. Brad Stevens is an excellent coach. So he kind of really stepped into the right situation. And, like I say, he's looking back at all the haters now saying, listen, this is what I came here for,
Yes, and I said it before, and I'm going to stick to it. Until Isaiah Thomas gets back, the Kyrie Irving trade still does not make sense. So for everyone that is in this big uproar because the Cavs are struggling right now, the Cavs are playing without Kyrie and without Isaiah Thomas. So until he's back, D-Wade, D-Rose, Shumpert, J.R. Smith, for as great of role players as they are, and they have the experience of being older, they're not either of those two guys. So for now, Kyrie Irving's trade looks great. I mean, they're playing well. He stepped right into a team where they needed some leadership. Mm-hmm. They needed somebody that's had some more experience in the postseason and winning a championship. But Steve Kerr has said they're the team of the East, the future team of the East. And I know your Sixers are in the East, so I'm sure you have something to say about that.
Listen, I mean, Steve Kerr just likes to make these blanket statements every once in a while, but all you got to do is look at last night's epic performance by Baby Wilt out there in that 46-15, 7-7, and you know who the future of the East is going to be. So, all due respect to Boston and their great start they're off to, but the future is in Philadelphia. I think we all know that. your boy LeBron knows it. That's probably why he's going to want to come here next year. But yeah, the future is in Philly. You know.
Yeah, I don't know about the Sixers. I mean,
what?
No, I'm talking about LeBron going to the Sixers. That's something that has been tossed around that he would go to the Sixers or the Lakers. And right now, if I'm him, I would go to the Sixers if I had to choose, because the Sixers have more chance of winning a championship.
Oh,
they
yeah,
have the pieces in place. But we're going to talk about the Sixers after this break. We will not get into them just yet.
You had me ready.
I did, but I'm going to make you wait a little bit longer.
All right,
so don't go too far. We're going to get right back. We are going to dive into the Sixers, how they're starting, JoJo, and now Covington with a contract extension, possibly. So we'll be right back after this break.
Love my style and I'm dancing tonight. My smile from pearly white side. Love myself, love myself, love my style. Pearly white, love your smile. From teens to grown-ups braces, they can change your life. All ages and all faces. Your smile from pearly white. Love yourself, love your style. Pearly white, love your smile.
For independent living for seniors age 62 and over, People Inc. offers safe, maintenance-free apartments across Western New York. The affordable rent is income-based. For more information, call People Inc. Senior Living at 817-9090.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Assurance. It's a word, a touch, a look that sparks a feeling. Peace of mind that everything will be all right. These are the moments that inspire us to do more than you'd ever expect from a car insurance company at a price that's less than you'd expect. This is more than just insurance. This is Plymouth Rock Assurance. Visit us at PlymouthRock.com.
Hey everybody, this is Rich Bradley. I got a new show coming on RVN TV. It's called Downbeat. We'll be talking all about the music industry, the music scene. So check it out. We'll be on Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you then.
Imagine the finest hand-selected USDA prime steak you'll ever have. The freshest line-caught seafood, our Wine Spectator award-winning wine list, and soul-satisfying desserts. Bring that together with the perfect date, the winning business deal, a memorable family celebration. Welcome to Rod's Steak and Seafood Grill in nearby Morristown, New Jersey. Bring your appetite and feed your passion.
Good morning, I'm Renee Washington, host of The Sports Break. On today's episode, which sport will we talk about? Or will we have a guest in the studio? It's all coming up on The Sports Break right here on RVNTV.tv at 9 a.m. Be sure to stay tuned. And we're back. Welcome back to The Sports Break here on RVN TV. I'm your host, Renee Washington, joined by co-host Jonathan Stroud. And we're talking NBA Thursday. So we had to talk about the Celtics and their 13-game winning streak that is going to be really put to test when they play the Warriors.
Yes.
But there's another team in the East that is also looking very good, and that's the Sixers.
Trust
which I know you are thrilled about that. I am too, though. The Sixers deserve it. So right now, the Sixers had a huge win over the Lakers last night. JoJo had a phenomenal game. 40-plus points, 15 rebounds.
7. I mean, the whole NBA was put on notice last night that the future is now. It's Joel Embiid. I mean, we saw it last year, and I always thought something was kind of missing this year, where I didn't really see that whole package like we saw last year. But last night it was all on display. I mean, from everything from defense to offense. This guy was Euro stepping. He had me ready to pick up a ball at the crib and just start doing some Euro stepping stuff myself. Man, he was all over. It was dominant. I mean, and Ben Simmons quietly with almost a triple double, 18, 10, and 9. Like, this is the future. And for all the process haters out there, I mean, this is basically what it was all about. And this I think we're ready to get rolling. I mean, if we can get Fultz's head screwed back on right, and he learns to shoot the jumper like he was doing at Washington. I mean, look out! This is exciting.
And I hate to be cheesy, but I love the fact that in looking back over the years and getting to this point, how the Sixers struggled, and how as a Philadelphia fan, it was painful to watch as they were tanking and everything. But then, here's the light at the end of the tunnel. We are finally here.
It was all for the greater good. Like, anybody
it paid off.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I didn't know if it was gonna pay off. I mean, this has been years in the making to get to this point.
Yeah.
And they even talked about how they could have possibly had Porzingis on the team, and if you have him, you don't have Ben Simmons, so that changes. Right. Like, there are all these little steps and things that could have got mixed up and messed up. But here we are. Yeah. We see the Sixers playing finally great basketball. I mean, the first time since the AI days, early AI days.
I mean, the stars were out last night too. You saw them out there; they were all on display. Kevin Hart, they were all out there ready. And I mean, this team it's an exciting team to watch. The way they share the basketball. I mean, I don't want to get too excited about it, but listen, it's
so far so good.
It's very in the beginning stages here, but I think we can see a glimpse into what's going to be taking place, and when these guys grow together. And I don't even want to keep saying if they stay healthy, because I mean, listen, they're on the court now,
right?
And I mean, it just looks like poetry in motion the way they're out there playing.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, a manimal. I mean, they made a statement last night about you had the first round pick, Lonzo Ball, and then you had a franchise player in Ben Simmons, and I think that's the difference. One is a franchise player, one's an early first round pick, and Lonzo, I don't know. We were just talking. He just looks totally disinterested out there,
Yeah, I mean, for one, I'm thrilled his brother is out of China and out of that whole mess because he decided to go possibly shoplift in China of all places.
Multiple
with
stores
his UCLA, with his UCLA teammates. So whatever. But as for his brother, he is looking confused at times, like a deer in the headlights. I mean, I can't really read Lonzo Ball. I mean, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. And you see that, gets a triple-double one game, but then the next game it's like, where are you?
They might even put him in the same psych evaluation that we have Fultz in right now, because, I mean, his whole body language and aura out there just doesn't say that I want to play basketball. Right. I love it. Like, dude, you're playing NBA basketball for a living. You don't have to go back to school. You don't have to get a night job. This is your job. Like, so you need to get out there and really show some 1-2 out there.
Yeah, and for as much as everyone gets on Joel Embiid because he's so hyped up in the media and he's everywhere and he's so excited all the time, even though he's not playing. That's a guy that looks like he loves what he's doing. He's just so happy to be an NBA player. Lonzo Ball looks like someone at times who's like, my dad got me here, or like I'm so there's so many things going on in his life that maybe he just mentally isn't focused like someone like Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons.
His whole cavalier approach, like, I mean, that's somebody's gonna have to get to him. Like Magic Johnson, I'm sure is probably gonna pull him in the office one of these days. Like, listen, kid, you're a Laker now. You need to act the part. So we drafted you here for a reason. Don't make me look bad. So I mean, it's really not looking good for him right now. But hey, that's them. The Sixers, on the other hand, they're looking like the team that is going to be the future of the East, and they're excited. So.
Yeah, and Robert Covington is in the process of a 4-year, $62 million contract extension. So
who want to get paid?
I'll take that contract extension right now.
Hey, props to Rocco. I mean, because he was here at the beginning of the process when all the tanking was going on. We were just picking D-leaguer after D-leaguer. And he came in here and basically showed that he has a skill set of shooting the basketball. They developed him. His defense has kind of grown each year.
That's true.
And he's really just turned into a real solid starting NBA player. And, one of those glue guys on this team. I mean, he has a funky jump shot, but when that thing, it hits nothing but net most of the time. And I believe I saw a stat where he's 8th in the league right now, 3-point percentage. So 49%. Props to Rocco. I mean, he's really worked his butt off and kind of deserves the money, I think. So
yeah, and how much or how important is it to have guys like him and the other pieces. I mean, we even talk about like a J.J. Redick and T.J. McConnell. These guys that are around Ben Simmons, JoJo. These extra pieces around Markelle Fultz. How important is it to have those
immeasurable.
young
I mean,
players?
we got to get J.J. Redick out of L.A. He's ice cold. He was ice cold in the Clippers game, ice cold in the Lakers. I don't know what's going on in L.A., the food he was eating, but dude, get back to Philly. But yeah, these surrounding vets, you know, you really can't put a measuring stick on it because they, you know, just the kind of influence they can have on young guys in the locker room. The NBA is a grown man's game. I mean, no matter how you have those young players in place, you got to have some vets to kind of be the voice of reason. Amir Johnson, J.J. Redick, these guys have really kind of been that for the Sixers. Brian Colangelo did a good job of surrounding these young bodies with some good solid pieces around them. So I think the future is only brighter for the Philly Sixers.
And speaking of the future, it is bright for the NBA.
Yes.
After this break, we'll talk about all the talented young guys under the age, they say 23, but I'm looking at under 25. Maybe it's a 25-year-old. I'm including my age in that too. 25 and under in the NBA right now is looking very promising. So when we get back from this break, we will talk about some of those players and if you would build a franchise around them. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Love my style, I'm dancing tonight. My smile from pearly white side. Love myself, love my style. Pearly white, love your smile. From teens to grown-ups faces, they can change your life. All ages and all faces, your smile from pearly white. Love yourself, love your style. Pearly white, love your smile.
For independent living for seniors age 62 and over, People Inc. offers safe, maintenance-free apartments across Western New York. The affordable rent is income-based. For more information, call People Inc. Senior Living at 817-9090.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Good morning, I'm Renee Washington, host of the Sports Break. On today's episode, which sport will we talk about? Or will we have a guest in the studio? It's all coming up on the Sports Break right here on RVNTV.tv at 9 a.m. Be sure to stay tuned. Welcome back. We are here on the Sports Break. I'm your host, Renee Washington, joined by co-host Jonathan Stroud. And we are talking now about the youth in the NBA. So we had to talk about the Celtics and the Sixers, but that's also included in the youth.
Oh, yeah.
And looking at the list, I mean, I was scrolling through the names, and we have guys like, obviously, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, Anthony Davis, Kristaps Porzingis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kyrie Irving's in that 25 and under list.
Surprising.
Yes, he just makes the cut. And then we have other guys. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, obviously Lonzo Ball is in that list. But the list goes on and on across so many teams, East and West.
Yeah.
The young guys are looking promising. What
Oh,
are your
yeah.
thoughts?
Adam Silver, I'm sure he's sitting back with a big smile on his face because, I mean, listen, the NBA, I mean, it's always been one of those, you look start to the season, you got 4 or 5 teams going to win a championship. And it's like rightfully so this year, too. We all know that the Warriors and Cavs are probably on a collision course for going there for the third time. But beyond that, I mean, the talent is really spread out in the NBA as far as young players coming up. Those one-and-doners are starting to grow and mature into their bodies and really start, now they'd probably be juniors, seniors if they were still in college. So, I mean, you're just seeing that youth movement come along, and there's a lot of great talented players out there. I mean, like you said, Antetokounmpo, I can't even say the dude's name, Embiid, Simmons, it's all over. Porzingis, I mean, this league's in great shape right now. I don't know if you had to pick if you had to, start a team or if which direction you go in.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I do think maybe we're finally starting to see the one and done versus straight out of high school, the positive side, the upswing of that.
Yeah.
And these guys are now coming into the league, and we talk about that adjustment period from playing in college or playing in the NBA, how much stronger it is, how physically, how much quicker it is. And these guys are coming right in and making an impact. I mean, you look at, and obviously the ones that's come to mind are Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, those guys. But even the Celtics have a number of young players. Jason Tatum's on that list.
Yeah.
Brown's a young guy.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown.
Yep. They have so many. Even Marcus Smart is like 23.
Right.
So I mean, there are so many intricate players that are in these rosters that you may not even realize. I didn't even realize Steven Adams is only 24. Maybe because he looks a little older.
It's
but
that stash. It's that stash in
but
long hair.
these top teams that we talk about every Thursday or every week, they are under 25, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a youth movement, and I've always been a proponent of the 2-year college rule. Players coming out after the sophomore years because they're developed more. The skill set is more polished. I mean, even just looking at Ben Simmons, who sat out all last year.
Yeah.
I think that really helped him just kind of like growing mentally, and he even said, sitting next to the coach after games, just kind of like dissecting stuff. So I really think that, the maturity level, once you get past that second year in NBA and that third year, that's when you're just like really ready to take off.
Yeah.
So I mean, the league, like I said, is in great shape, and we're going to be seeing these great matchups for years to come, man.
Oh yeah, and that's where we're starting to see. Porzingis and Cat and Andrew Wiggins, those guys are now in their second, third, year that they've been in the league. So for me, if I had to choose, it would be the Greek Freak. I mean, I think he is, hands down, he kind of reminds me of a Kawhi Leonard in that he's quietly getting things done. Right. But the fact that he is over 7 feet tall, defends so well, can get to the basket, his shooting game's getting better. He passes well, he moves well, and he's someone that is very healthy, knock on wood. I hope I didn't just jinx him. But I think he has so much potential to continue to grow, and every single season you see his stats getting better. That's the guy that I would build my franchise team around. To me, he's a young mix between Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron James in the way that he carries himself, the way he plays, his size, and the way he has the ability. We talk about the NBA switching to a big man that can play like a guard. That's him.
He can do it all.
He can do it all.
He plays the guard position for the Bucks. I mean, he's 7 foot, athletic. The Freak. I mean, that name suits him so well, and he's all over the place. I mean, wouldn't be my pick, but
I had a feeling you're not gonna pick Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know who you are gonna pick, but go ahead.
I mean, it's a lot of players you can go for, but 2 in particular actually are on the Philadelphia 76ers. And it's a tough juggle. After last night's performance, I got to go with my man JoJo. But you could easily go with Ben Simmons and hashtag if Ben gets a jump shot. I mean, look out. This dude is going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he's shooting from both hands. People saying right now that he probably, the right hand, he's going to end up shooting with that hand. But, I mean, what I saw from Joel Embiid last night, this dude was Euro stepping. I mean, every move, Olajuwon, then taking it to the outside. I mean, we've never seen a 7'3" guy that just has a wetness from the 3-point line like he has. I mean, splash. It was just looking incredible. So that's where I'm going with it. Trust the process.
I could easily agree with that. I definitely can.
You should.
I definitely can. But again, these are all guys. Even Ben Simmons, 6'8", and to see how well he moves with his passing.
6'8". This man's 6'10".
Yeah, same thing. 6'8", 6'10", tomato. Thought he was like 6'9", but okay.
No, he's almost 7 foot out here doing this
the
mess.
Same thing. But you see these guys, and I'm sorry, Ben Simmons, I shrunk you a little bit. You see these guys that are tall, and we talked about LeBron James and Kevin Durant and how they play, and even Kevin Durant's still young, but they were like the beginning of it, and now we're starting to see like these young LeBron and KDs in the making that are just able to move so well, and that's what a Joel Embiid is too. I mean, everyone talks about go to the basket. No, shoot the ball. Keep doing what you're doing. Like we said about DeMarcus Cousins, keep doing what you're doing because you are scoring, and if you're a big man that can score and shoot, besides just getting in the basket, the old traditional big man moves, post moves, and down in the paint, and you can step out of the paint and be just as good. Why not? Hats off to you.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, he has the ability to pound them inside, like my man Shaq says, barbecue chicken, and then just take them to the outside. I think that's the game is just, evolved in such a way where if you're a big man coming in now, you have to be able to shoot the basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of killing Jahlil Okafor and his ability to kind of get on the court because he doesn't really have a jump shot like that. But I mean, the league's in great hands. Philly's in great hands, and I can't wait for this season.
That's all we really got for this episode. The main thing is
I'm all Phillied up today. I'm sorry. That game last night.
I get it. Yes, you're hyped up after that last night.
I was going to wear a jersey today. I said, I'm going to keep it real.
I wish you had. That would have been really funny. You always can. But no, overall, the league is exciting. And I think the biggest thing that we're seeing is because of all this talent across the younger guys, that is partly why the league has been so balanced. I mean, you even look at the Cavs Knicks game, for as much as that was a pain in my rear to watch them struggle with the Knicks. That was all young guys they're playing against.
Boys shouldn't be talking about that trash.
And Porzingis that they're playing against. It's the young guys that are turning this league around.
Yeah.
Because on paper, coming into the season, it was like, oh, we've got Cavs, Warriors, the Celtics will be pretty good, obviously. OKC, Rockets, who else? But now you see every team, Sixers, Knicks, Bucks, the Timberwolves, everyone is stepping up because of the young guys. I like it.
Yeah, and real quick, I know we got to go, but I think the spacing out of the schedule has kind of actually helped a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like not having as much, the back-to-backs. I think that you need to be a man to step up, but I think that spacing out is kind of really re-energized guys where they're getting on the court and they're really playing with a little bit more effort than you would see in the past, where they're kind of going through the motions.
Every game matters now.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I'm excited to see how this continues. I mean, I would love to see the Cavs in the finals again, but at this point, I don't know what's going to happen.
I understand what's going on with you over here. You just need to
my
get on the
Cavs
Philly
brother.
bandwagon.
I'm a Sixers fan.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
I'm a Sixers fan.
You don't say that
But
a lot.
I'm a bigger LeBron fan. Real quick, it's very simple. I am a huge LeBron fan, and whatever team he's on, I'm a fan of. Done. Sixers, that's my homegrown team. I grew up watching them. I grew up rocking the AI jersey, the headband,
as my uncle would say, it's your birthright.
The wristed sleeves. I was, the AI, all his sneakers. That was my, childhood growing up. So deep down, I'm always a Sixers fan. But until LeBron retires, I am a fan of whatever team he is on. If he is on the D-League team, I'm now a fan of the D-League team that he's on. Wherever he is, or GFHIK team, I'm a fan of that team.
What? I don't know where you're going.
The D-League keeps changing down to G-League, so I had to correct the alphabet.
Okay, that was it. Okay, I got you. All
right, we're moving on. So we are unfortunately out of time. Go Sixers, I'll give you that. Good luck in their next game.
They play the Warriors, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang, that was like a shot.
I'm excited to see that game. I am excited to see that game. That's going to be a really good, a true test for them.
She's not trusting the process, ladies and gentlemen. It's all right.
The process.
She's not trusting it.
Trust the process. #TTP, as Joel Embiid keeps tweeting out all the time. Thank you guys for watching us on the Sports Break this morning. For all the excitement going on in the NBA. We could talk about this for days, but unfortunately we are out of time. As always, you can find us right here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday morning on RVN TV. I'm your host, Renee Washington, with co-host Philadelphia 76er. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.